Hello, my name is Emmett Stone and this is a Word Facts video. The topic for today is semiotics. People often search for ways to differentiate ourselves from animals, and the fact that we possess language has long been one of them. New research has called into question how fair this claim is to make, but there's an important distinction to make between communication and language. Animals communicate constantly with noises, gestures, pheromones, etc., but so do people, such as raising a fist threateningly. The difference between universal symbols like that and verbal language or even sign language is that those universal symbols are limited, whereas language can convey any given meaning. What separates the two, therefore, aside from language's versatility, is that symbols like raising a fist, or moreover the growl of a dog, show what the intended idea is. When a dog growls, it reveals its teeth. It is not saying, "I could bite you," it is showing the teeth with which it could bite you. Language, on the other hand, is arbitrary. It doesn't matter if dog is dog, or Hund in German, or mbwa in Swahili, or Kimek in Kalashtasu, because all of them communicate the same idea using arbitrary arrangements of sounds. This is why it was so surprising when linguists determined that the word for dog in the Australian language Guguyamithir, which is dog, was not a loan word from English, but had developed independently. This is where the concept of semiotics comes in. Semiotics is concerned with signs and symbols and how people relate them to an interpretation of some idea or another. Specifically, how people relate a referent to a reference. A sign is anything that conveys a certain meaning, but is not that meaning itself. So the word dog is a sign, mbwa is also a sign, and they both happen to indicate the same meaning, but holding up a literal dog does not make that physical dog a sign. In terms of linguistics anyway, it may be a sign that you need to communicate better. To be clear, the growl of a dog is somewhat arbitrary in the same way that sneezing is somewhat arbitrary, because it indicates a sickness without being the sickness itself. However, both are fairly universal, largely because they hinge upon biology, so that any speaker of any language would be able to understand what they mean, as opposed to something using spoken language or sign language, for which someone would have to learn the vocabulary and syntax, etc., in order to understand the concepts being conveyed, which may be arbitrary because they don't rely on something tangible like biology. Basically then, what separates human communication from animal communication is that language uses arbitrary symbols to communicate tangible and abstract concepts that don't have to rely on physiology or anything else physical. It is this that separates human language from animal communication, and it is this that is the focus of semiotics. Thank you. I really hope you enjoyed today's video. If you want even more, you can check out the daily blog, either on Facebook or on Blogspot. And if you want to help support Word Facts and get even more content, you can go to the Patreon. Thank you.